Goodbye Natal. As a city, you are definitely not great, but you do have these beautiful dunes. We're leaving for our next hop. So, out of the Rio Potengi, I think it's called, under the bridge. The height is 55 meters. Plenty enough. Now we are approaching destination, and the whole time we have been sailing on these 10 meters of water depth alongside the dunes. Going between the mainland and a reef, which is out there. Baixo de Maracajua, something like that it's called. And it looks like there are, yeah, restaurants. I thought about it would be nice to take the dinghy there, but the distance kind of looks enormous on the water. It didn't look that much on my chart. That's Faidapiu, and we are trying to find out whether there's any way that we can go ashore. But it looks like there are breakers, and the waves are a meter. Not really nice. Well, we managed. Don't ask how. Of course, half of the dinghy was full of water. The engine still runs, so that's good, I suppose. We managed. We managed. You see, I'm all wet. That's because we put Fabio in the dinghy. He was rowing beyond the breakers, and then I climbed on board. It worked, and we had lunch in the restaurant behind us, where there is an Italian colony. Unbelievable. But here in Pitatinga, apparently the Italians are trying to colonize it. So Fabio twisted his knee when we went out of the dinghy on the beach. So we are going to have a nice slow sail with jib alone to Galinhos. We're going to turn around the corner of Brazil. So Fabio is lying there with his twisted knee, and we are in front of Rio do Fogo, and that is basically the point of the northeasterly point of Brazil. So here I've got the Fogo, and up there I've got the Ponta Fora. And it's from Natal actually that we have these dunes, sand dunes, just the whole way. And as far as I know, it's going to continue until for the next, I don't know, 600-700 miles, sand dunes. Now, there we are. The lighthouse on the northeasterly point of Brazil. So destination is called Galinhos. A lot of people say we have to stop there, so we are gonna check it out. And it's actually 90 miles. The problem is that we need to get there at high tide. Now there are two high tides, of course, and at the moment it's at 6 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock at night. And we should also go there with little wind. In the afternoon on the north coast of Brazil, where we are going to go, there's always quite strong winds, 20-25 knots, and apparently that's not a good situation to be in. So that's why we should do it in the morning at high water, which means sunrise. There's a full moon that is hiding behind the clouds. It's unfortunately very cloudy. So we are circling around here in front of Galinhos, waiting for sunrise, so we can go in. So we are on the west side of the Atlantic, and there they have another buoy system. And here on the North and South America, it is red right for turning. So when you come back to land, you have the red one on the right. Whereas in Europe, it's opposite. When you come back to the harbor, you've got the green one on the right. I'm not a morning person, particularly not if I have hardly been sleeping, but I must admit, the morning has something special. The coolness, the quietness. The air is fresh. Let's see where we are going to anchor. There are several anchor spots. The one possible anchor spot would be in these mangroves to the right. Another one just put themselves in front of this dune, on the left-hand side. I think we're going to continue to the little village, Galinhos. Now we dropped the anchor on 8 meters, so we thought that was going to be fine. But as you can see behind me, the sandbank is pretty close. Also because we got 40 meters out. So I don't know, maybe we are going to move later. So this is the, yeah, it's a kind of a little fjord, one could almost say. I think going in to, in the end I've got a salt mine. These are the dunes that we could walk on. And apparently this is a real holiday place. So we are going to check it out one of these days. Not today. Today we are just going to enjoy life, giving Fabio's knee time to recover. So we arrived here at the white mountain that we see in the background of our anchorage. The anchorage and Galinhos is over there. You hear the noise of these grass mower engines that they use. In all the Brazilian rivers that we have seen. The guy just passed me a piece of salt. Like this I've got for, I think, pasta water for a month. And there we've got other tourists coming. For being in the middle of nowhere, honestly, Brazil is scarcely populated. This is the state of Rio Grande do Norte, which is also scarcely populated. And we are, I think, 3 hours drive away from the nearest town. There are an amazing amount of tourists. There we are! The dunes of... Oh, I think I forgot it. Dumas or something like that, probably. This is pretty cool. Let's go up and climb the dune. So climbing up the mountain. You know what this reminds me of? Skiing, because it's like snow. There's this wind, so you see the sand that kind of flies away, except of course that it's I don't know, 32, 33 degrees. Fabio thinks I'm ridiculous. And on that side of the dunes I've got the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, and looks like it just drops here. Now if one scared as I am, I think one would surf down. I've seen a couple of people do it. Not that I'm gonna try. There's basically a 45 degrees drop here. Well, the guy just told me where I have to go for lunch. It's gonna take his tourists. So the guy on the tourist boat said that this is where he brings his guests to have lunch, the one in front of the pier. So that's, I think, where we're going to go. And we live here with the tide. Now the tide is going to come up to prevent us from pulling the dinghy up to I don't know what height. We put out an anchor. A Brazilian cruising couple arrived this morning in our anchorage. The first Brazilian couple we have seen in a very, very long time. Another beautiful morning here in Galinhos. Behind me you can see the sand dune and the salt pan where we went a couple of days ago, following a small tourist canoe, so that we knew which way to go. There are mangroves here, and then here I've got the little village of Galinhos. There are huge wind parks there, and also there. On the other side of the village of Galinhos, I've got the Atlantic Ocean, which is apparently a kite surfer's paradise. There's always wind. This village really lives with the tide, so the tourists that are coming to the village are taking off of the village at high tide, because at low tide you have got the boats that are at low tide. There is basically no way to approach the jetty. This Galinhos is a very nice place, and the fact that we are on this river with not a lot of current means that we have got a flat sea, and we sleep really well. On top of that, there are excellent restaurants in this touristic place. We are leaving for an overnight sail to Fortaleza. Now I did not want to go to Fortaleza because you can't anchor. It's probably the only place in Brazil that is considered very dangerous on anchorage, and so you have to go into the marina. But the problem with the marina is that it's not there anymore, so there are some poles, but that's basically all. What is there is a security, because it's attached to a hotel, so it's complicated procedure, but we'd made the mistake of not checking out of the country Natal. So because when we thought we were going to go to Belém, but by now we're thinking we don't actually want to go to Belém, because if you go to Belém you have to go quite long way into the river, which is a stressful experience because of the current coming out of this Amazon river and taking with it tree trunks and other things. So to check out of the country we need to make a stop at Fortaleza, and that's where we're going to go. 160 miles. There is very little wind. Usually in the afternoon there comes some more wind, so let's see what happens. So Petrobras made a kind of headquarter there, and they dug a canal so that they can come in and out with their boats. There's a boat going out there, and I think there's a boat coming in there. Now the big ships have got priority inside the canal, so just need to stop a little bit, let it pass, and then it's our turn. There's this nice tradition amongst the boats that you wave at each other when you pass. And here apparently we even get a dude. It's Monday morning, 8:30, so it just feels like going to work. Just kidding. And we thought, let us try to set up the emergency autopilot, because we've got the big autopilot here in the back, down there. But if something happens to it, we need a backup. As a backup, we have made a tiller autopilot that is usually used for smaller monohulls, and we have attached that to the tiller on the left hand side of the boat. It's fully standalone, so I have to go down there and push the buttons to the left or the right. It's only on a compass. So we thought we were going to give it a try. It's 12 o'clock. So if I now have this one running until it gets dark at 6, then I've tried it for a longer time. Oh, I think we caught a fish. Looks like a little of these fake tunas. Yeah, exactly. So it's 4:30 and our autopilot has been working faultlessly for the last 4.5 hours. So that's switched off. The standard autopilot is switched on. It's always nice to test something and it actually works. We are arriving in Fortaleza as we are coming in. The traditional fisher boats going out. Well, fisher boats are kind of a raft with a little light and a sail on them. So Fabio is removing the lines that we have on the back. Goodbye Fortaleza. So we checked out of Brazil. We are going to stop in Ilha dos Lencois in about 400 nautical miles, but there's no port there, so we can't check out. It's kind of overcast. There's not any wind yet, so we're just motoring around perpendicular to the coast so that we clear the continental shelf as soon as possible. And out there is the idea, we are not going to have any fisher vessels, because the fishing vessels here are very small, made of wood with a little light, and you can't see them on the radar. Of course, I don't have any IAS, so it's stressful at night to see all these small lights. It's 12 o'clock, and you see we are heading out to the continental shelf. The wind picked up, so so we took up the sails after 2 hours of motoring. We are going to have, I think, a little bit of rain, which is a problem, because when there's rain, there's a rain cloud, and that changes the direction of the wind and usually also increases it. So it's 24 hours after we left. It's Friday morning at 10 o'clock. We are 50 nautical miles away from shore, so we are out on 3,000 meters depth. And out here there is nothing, no fishing boats, no, absolutely nothing. So we are just relaxing, not doing anything. The sails are as they have been for the last 24 hours. So we have consistently above 20 knots, and it's not coming completely from the back, from about here. So the boat is going upwind, a lot of stress on the autopilot. So we are going to reef, taking down a piece of the mainsail. Now, usually one goes into the wind to do this, but with a cat and these kind of waves, it's much better to do it downwind. It's 10 o'clock on the second morning, so now we've been 48 hours underway, and in the last 24 hours we did 188 miles, which is a little bit of everything, because during night we had some squalls. So these are these thunderstorms with that thunder, where the wind becomes quite strong. In fact, we had 30 knots at a certain moment. And that was with full mainsail, because during the day actually we had quite some wind, consistently above 22, 23. So we took out, we took one reef and went into the night. Then there was hardly any wind, so we took out the reef, and then the squalls came. So we and the only thing you can do with the squall is go downwind, take it from the back. Like that you can get any kind of wind. So that's what we did. So the course is a little bit like this. And then this morning there was no wind at all. So we took up the code, which is here. Of course, and the wind increased. So now I'm going all right actually. And the reason is that we need to get into this Ilha dos Lencois during daytime. So if I didn't put up enough sails, I would arrive in the evening, and then then I probably would stop. I'm not going to lie down there waiting for the whole night to enter. So then we would have continued to Ilha dos Lencois. But it looks like now with the code up, we are going to manage. It's a fresh ship we are seeing, and it actually came towards us for the last, I would say, hour, and we were wondering what it was going to do, because sailboats have priority over any kind of ship, however big. So it came like this, and then just now, it turned 20 degrees off. It probably thought, let's see what they do, perhaps they changed. Well, we didn't. Forte de São Felipe, Forte de São Felipe, Forte de São Felipe. This is sailing vessel Faidapiu. Doesn't look like he's answering. So the question is, what are we going to do? We trust that he is going to pass us as a decent distance, or will we change our course? Of course, this is only the second boat that we saw, and both of them on ram courses. Okay, confirm. You will pass in front of me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Nice day.
Well, eventually he did reply, saying that he's going to pass in front of me. Let's hope so. It passes in front of me. Plenty of distance. I'm always scared. They always look far closer in reality. Downwind, we're not going completely downwind. We are tacking a little bit downwind so that we have sufficient speed. It's faster. Now that means we need to jibe. That went rather smoothly. The boat jibes under autopilot. I did the mainsail, Fabio did the code. We jibed from 160 wind to 160, and now we are back on 150. Just going to put on the barber on the sheet. And we're set up for another 4 hours. I think in about 4 hours we should be in front of Ilha dos Lencois. We got a downpour again. The advantages. A free shower. We took down the sail, switched on both engines, max power. It's 4 o'clock and we need to be in there before sunset. It's a race against time. I've got 8 nautical miles to the entrance of the bay where I'm going to go in. It's 4:15 and sun sets at 6:15. So me almost doing 8 nautical miles. I should arrive here 1 hour before sunset. I've got both engines running on 2,500 RPMs, which is basically the max. So the 1 hour more or less margin I had is all gone, because for the last 40 minutes we have been circling around fishing buoys trying to find out how to come in. Remember when we were in Canal de Voladuro in front of the parrot island, that we never saw them coming, the parrots? Well, now we are in front of the Scarlet Ibis island, and there they are. It's 5:30. They arrive at 5:30 in the evening, and they go away in the morning. So the fisherman told us if we want to go and visit the dunes without dinghy, we should just take the first one to the right. So that's what we did. And then we arrived here. So, but the water level is still going to go up at least 1 meter. So we decided to put the anchor out here on the dunes. The Atlantic Ocean is in that direction. The Atlantic Ocean, and behind those dunes somewhere is our dinghy. Yeah, we found the anchor. And is it down there still? Yes, it is, and it's floating.